That's a joyous second segment sip right there when Oregon does what we'd like them to do on the recruiting trail. Let's talk quarterbacks because Oregon is already recruiting well in the class of 2026, and this is why it takes a village, not just to raise a child, but to put together a recruiting class. These things are one and the same and of equal importance and value to society. If you think I'm being dead serious, I could be. Yeah, anyway. Jonas Williams, 4-star 2026 quarterback, commits to Oregon, 95.48 composite score, top 10 quarterback in the country out of New Lenox, Illinois. So Oregon's commits over the weekend from Ohio and Illinois. National brand power does that sort of thing. Maybe he liked the blow-up duck in Indianapolis. The duck has made his way to not most, but a healthy number of Big Ten campuses at this point, wanting to be metaphorically or literally let in to the gates. He's been to Wisconsin, Northwestern in their dig site, and just getting on guys' radars. And here's Jonas Williams committing from the state of Illinois. So when I watch Jonas Williams film, I actually see a faster Dante Moore. So Dante Moore is about 6'1" or so. Williams kind of a similar height, 6'1.5", 200 pounds. He's decently thin. He is a really good athlete. Top 100 player overall in the class of 2026. And like I said, a top 10 quarterback, number one player in the state of Illinois. He has got a gorgeous, and I mean gorgeous arc on his deep ball. There are definitely some throws I see on his highlight reel that will not translate to the college level, but guess what? This kid is not a 25 recruit. He's a 26 recruit and has plenty of time to grow and continue to progress, which I think he can. But the reason I compare him to Dante Moore with more speed is they have similar looking throwing motions in that they are very quick, they're very polished, and they're just very easy. It is a quick, easy, accurate release. And you combine that with a guy who, when he takes off to run, kind of looks like Mariota running on film, like this, or Luke Moga, for instance. This guy is a dynamic athlete, can absolutely be a starting quarterback one day. And the reason I talk about him on today's show when he's a 2026 recruit is twofold. Number one, it's part of Oregon's recruiting momentum right now. Number two, they are already recruiting well for the class of 2026. And number three, when you have a quarterback early in the class, it can oftentimes serve as a foundational piece. Oregon is having a great recruiting class in 2025 with wide receivers. 5-star DeCorian Moore, 5-star Dallas Wilson. You've got Isaiah Mosey in there. You've got Cooper Perry in there. A couple of 4-star guys like that's a great Junior Adams doing one heck of a job recruiting that position group. You know who one of the earliest commits in the 25 cycle has been for a long time? Achilles Smith Jr., the quarterback. And this Oregon quarterback room is as set in the long run as I can ever remember, because you've got Dylan Gabriel for this year, Dante Moore for next year. You could have Dante Moore for the 26 season. You might not. By that time, you'll probably have a competition. And by the way, Austin Novosad could also be the starter in 2025. We saw what he did in the spring game. Dude is super talented. And yeah, I'd expect it to be Dante Moore. I don't know that that's a lock. I think Lanning's going to play the guy who is the best. And yeah, that could be Dante Moore, but man, Novosad looked really, really good. But let's say that plan progresses and Moore's the starter in 25. If he sticks around for 26, yeah, you'd probably have a guy like Luke Moga transfer out, but then you'd have Achilles Smith Jr. And then you'd be bringing in Jonas Williams in that 2026 class, which has already got a lineup of weapons that look incredibly promising because Williams is at quarterback. You've got Jordan Davidson. No, that's not right. I forgot the guy's name. Look at that. Everybody makes a mistake or has a moment of cerebral flatulence, as my high school history teacher, Mr. Noble, used to say. Tredarian Ball, see, Jordan Davidson's in the 25 cycle. Tredarian Ball, though, who is a freak athlete and could continue to climb up the recruiting rankings as time goes on. He's already there in the class of 2026. So too is Tony Cumberland, 5-star defensive lineman in that 26 cycle. This is how recruiting works. You start early. If you're not starting early, somebody else is. But you already have those two guys, Tredarian Ball and Jonas Williams. But also remember, 2024 5-star wideout commit Gatlin Bear is taking a 2-year mission. So when does he show up? 2026. That's going to be a loaded lineup of talent in a couple of years. And Oregon has that this year, and Oregon has that next year. And the stacking of high-end recruiting classes is how you win at a high level and compete for national championships year in, year out. I know the transfer portal matters. Of course it does. The big-time programs, they're still recruiting high school kids at an elite clip. So I like what I see from Williams' ability and willingness to push the ball down the field. I think is really good. He's got a strong arm. Like he has the sort of arm and the sort of frame. You know, he reminds me a little bit as well of like a slightly shorter version of Nico Iamaleava, who was once upon a time discussed on this show as a potential Oregon quarterback commit. He's going to be the starting quarterback at Tennessee this year. He just kind of has that long, kind of tall, lanky frame. You know, Achilles Smith Jr. certainly has that. He's taller than Williams is, because Achilles Smith is, you know, kind of in the 6'4", 6'5" range, and Williams is listed at 6'1.5". He looks taller on film to me, but that just could be a product of the people that are around him and how big they are. But he's got the arm strength, he's got the mobility, and he's got the touch. You know, his ball has got some serious zip when it comes out of his arm. So I think this quarterback plan looks great. And yeah, the option of bringing in a transfer is always there, but you want to have that be an option, not a requirement. Because the number of great quarterbacks who could play at the level Oregon expects their quarterbacks to be that are available every year, not a 100% hit rate that you're always going to have Bo Nix or Dylan Gabriel out there. Or if they are available, there's no guarantee that every single year you're going to be able to get that guy to come to Oregon. Sure, you have a strong pitch. You have the ability to go in the portal and say, hey, we have an opportunity to win a conference championship, to win a national championship. There are NIL opportunities, and it's Oregon, for goodness sake. We've got a great offensive coordinator in Will Stein. We'll see how much longer Stein is able to stick around if he keeps recruiting like this and if Oregon has a lot of success on the field. But this quarterback plan just looks so great. And yeah, any one of these high school kids could, you know, have the Ty Thompson situation where they don't really get a chance to start because Oregon brings in a transfer. As an Oregon fan, you can think that's frustrating. At the end of the day, what you should want is the best possible play from the position. And I think having all of these guys committed now and in the future and have their timelines all line up so that you can have some guys compete. I mean, if Williams is ready to compete as a true freshman, maybe he and Luke Moga are battling it out for the starting job in 2026. You know, maybe Achilles Smith Jr.'s got, or maybe Achilles is ready and that's his time. I think having all these guys who are talented blue chip prospects who have got all the physical tools and just need to be molded into college starting quarterbacks, I think it's a great place for Oregon to be. And I cannot remember the last time that Oregon legitimately had a quarterback plan that could be thought of as set in stone, or at least set with a baseline level of fairly high production for the next 5 to 6 seasons. Like 24, you're good. 25, you're good. 26, someone will be ready by that. And 27, Achilles Smith Jr. could be, you know, a redshirt sophomore in 2027. And if that's when he starts, and he starts 27, 28, Jonas Williams, like, I know I'm projecting way out into the future here, but I think this is a great place for Oregon to be. I'm here for it.